Hi backbenchers, today we bring to you the video lecture on static GK related to banks. In banking exam and other competitive exams, various questions are asked from this topic. So we will provide you a complete material. We'll also provide you tricks to remember, because we believe that smart work is important and hard work is not important nowadays. The primary focus of this lecture will be PCBs or public sector banks in India. So there are in total 27 public sector banks. 6 banks are SBI and its associate banks, and 21 other nationalized banks. So we have 4 parts of this lecture. The first part is the history of banking. Then we move to the headquarter and taglines of various banks. Then the miscellaneous banking concept, and finally we'll look at the previous year questions that are being asked from this particular topic. So we'll start with the history of banking. The first bank to start was the Bank of Hindustan in the year 1770. Then it came to General Bank of India, which started its operation in 1786. The first bank to introduce saving bank was Presidency Bank in the year 1830. The first bank to introduce check system was Bengal Bank in the year 1784. The other first kind of its banks are the internet banking was started by ICICI Bank, the mutual fund was started by SBI, the credit card system was started by Central Bank of India. Foreign bank to start its operation was HSBC. So the full form of HSBC is Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation, and the headquarter of HSBC is London in UK. The first joint stock exchange bank was Allahabad Bank. The first bank to start with the Indian capital was Punjab National Bank. Bank to open a branch outside India was Bank of India. It started its branch in London in the year 1946. First regional rural bank or RRB was Prathama Gramin Bank. Now we know it as the Syndicate Bank. The first universal bank was ICICI. The first talking ATM, which was focused to differently abled people, was started by UBI. And the first bank to get ISO certification was Canara Bank. So the first all-women bank was Bharatiya Mahila Bank. This is the logo. First Indian bank in New York Stock Exchange is ICICI Bank. The full form of ICICI is Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation of India, and it was stocked in New York Stock Exchange in the year 2000. The first bank to launch its own payment aggregator is SBI. The payment aggregator is known as SBI ePay. Now we'll look into RBI and various points to remember. Now the full form of RBI is Reserve Bank of India. This is the logo. It was established in the year 1935 on 1st of April. The initial capital was rupees 5 crore, which had 5 lakh equity shares of rupees 100 each. It was nationalized in the year 1949 on 1st of January. The first governor was Mr. Osborne Smith, and the first Indian governor was Mr. C.D. Deshmukh. So the appointment of RBI is done by the Union Government of India. The RBI has one governor, which is also the head of Bank Bureau Board. It has 4 deputy governors and 1 government official. The main function of RBI is it issues note, it is the banker of banker, it is the banker of government, it is the controller of credit in our country, it is the custodian of foreign reserve, and it also controls inflation. Now we'll look at the various points important regarding State Bank of India. This is the logo. The headquarter when it started was Bombay, now it is Mumbai. Now Bank of Calcutta, which later renamed as Bank of Bengal in the year 1806, Bank of Bombay. which started its operation in 1840, and Bank of Madras, which was started in 1843, joined hands to form one bank, which is Presidency Bank, and later the Presidency Bank was renamed as the Imperial Bank of India in 1921. In 1955, the Imperial Bank was partially nationalized and became SBI. So the SBI was started as a bank in the year 1959 as an act which was passed by the Government of India. Now we'll look at the insurance sector. The birthplace of social or life insurance is Rome, Italy. Now the Life Insurance Corporation, which is also the largest insurance company in India, its headquarters is in Mumbai. It is nationalized in the year 1955. The slogan of LIC is Yugashmam Vahamyaha, which means your welfare is our responsibility. The punchline used for advertisement is Zindagi ke saath bhi, Zindagi ke baad bhi. It has 7 zonal offices, and the logo is this hand which is holding a diya. Now NABARD, National Bank of Agriculture and Rural Development. This is the logo, which is similar to LIC logo. The headquarters is in Mumbai. It is established in the year 1982 on 12th of July. It was started with the recommendation of Mr. B. Sivaraman under an act by Parliament which came forth in the 5th year plan. It is actually targeted to the agriculture and small scale industry to provide investment credits. Now SIDBI, Small Industries Development Bank of India, which is established in the year 1990 on 2nd of April. The headquarters of SIDBI is Lucknow, and its main focus is in MSMEs. Now SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. This is the logo. It regulates the security market in India. It is established in the year 1988, and the statutory power is given to SEBI on 12th of April 1992, and the headquarters of SEBI is in Mumbai. Now the tagline. This is the paragraph. If you remember the paragraph, then you will be able to answer questions related to the tagline of various banking. Now I'll just tell you the paragraph. Allahabad has a tradition of trust for Andhra's need, making Baroda International Bank, Bank of India's relation with Maharashtra's family, as Kanara says together, and Central is central with Dena trusting family. Indian technology has Oriental commerce committed to Punjab banking on us. SEBI is always with you. Syndicate's partner is Vijaya's friend you can bank on. Now the trick is, if you get a question, say what is the tagline of Allahabad Bank, just remember, if it has the caption tradition of trust, it is the tagline of Allahabad Bank. Similarly, Andhra's Bank will have the tagline which will have need in its tagline sentence. Similarly, Baroda will have the international word in its tagline. Now to just recap the tagline of various banks. Allahabad Bank, a tradition of trust. Andhra Bank, for all your need. Bank of Baroda, India's international bank. Bank of India, relationship beyond banking. Bank of Maharashtra, one family, one bank. Kanara Bank, together we can. Dena Bank, trusted family bank. Indian Bank, taking banking technology to the common man. Oriental Bank of Commerce, where every individual is committed. Punjab National Bank, the name you can bank upon. State Bank of India, with you all the way. Vijaya Bank, a friend you can bank upon. Now the headquarters of various banks. So I have segregated the bank headquarters according to the city they have the headquarters in. It is easier to remember in that way. So the Mumbai have 5 headquarters. It has the headquarter of Bank of India, Central Bank of India, Dena Bank, State Bank of India and Union Bank. Similarly, New Delhi has 4 headquarters: Oriental Bank, Punjab National Bank, Punjab and Sindh Bank. Kolkata has 3 headquarters: Allahabad Bank, Union Bank and UCO Bank. Bangalore has 2, Canara Bank and Vijaya Bank. Chennai has 2, that is Indian Bank and Indian Overseas Bank. So just remember, anything with the word Indian, the headquarter is in Chennai. Pune has the headquarter of Bank of Maharashtra. Mangalore, the headquarter of Corporation Bank. Manipal's headquarter of Syndicate Bank, and Vadodara, as the name suggests, as the headquarter of Bank of Baroda. Now the miscellaneous concepts which are important related to banking. Now the type of banking. We have the term deposit, which has the fixed deposit account and the recurring deposit account. There is another type of account, that is demand deposit or CASA, credit account, saving account. And the third type is the no frill account. In no frill account, the basic saving account allows a 0 minimum balance requirement in compliance with the guidelines issued on August 22, 2012 by RBI. So the main thing to remember is, in no frills account you can have a 0 minimum balance. A few things to note regarding the bank account. The minimum age is 10 years. Maximum interest rate is given on FD accounts. The maximum period of an FD is 10 years and recurring deposit is 5 years. Now we'll have the check system, the concept of the check system, how it works. A check is an important negotiable instrument which can be transferred by mere hand. Check is used to make safe and convenient payment. It is less risky and the danger of loss is minimized. The type of check, one is the bearer's check. You will have the or bearer written over the check, and that is not cancelled in bearer's check. It is payable to a specified person, and it is a bit risky because if anybody finds the check, he can collect the payment from the bank. Now the order check. Order check has the word bearer which has been cancelled. The order is written on the face of the check. So such a check is payable to the person specified by the person who is paying. Now the third type is the uncrossed or open check. This check is not at all crossed, it is open. An open check may be a bearer's check or an order one. So this is how the bearer check looks. If you can see, the word bearer is not crossed out there. Now similarly we have the order check. See, the order word is written there. And finally we have the final type of check, that is uncrossed or open check, which has or bearer or order written in it. Now there is another type of check, that is cross check. Crossing of a check means drawing two parallel lines. A cross check cannot be encashed at a cash counter of a bank, but it can only be credited to a pay accounts. Antedated check. Check if it bears the date earlier than which is presented in the bank is known as the antedated check. Check is valid for 3 months, remember that. The post-dated check, if a check bear a date which is yet to come, a future date, say today's date is 1st of January and the check has the date of 5th of January, so it is not acknowledged by the bank. Now another type of check is the stale check, which is presented after 3 months. So as I have told you, that a check is valid up to 3 months. So if it is produced after 3 months, then it becomes stale check and it is not honored by the bank. Now the Surface Act. Previously, people used to take loans from the bank and fail to repay it on time. So in the year 2002, what happened? This act was passed by the government, which will look into the matter of bad loans or non-performing assets. So the debt payer was given a notice of 60 days to pay the loan to the bank. The eligibility for this act to act upon was the loan amount should be more than 1 lakh, or the non-performing asset must be 20% of the principal. Now the concept of banking ombudsman. Banking ombudsman scheme was started by RBI in 1995 on 14th of June under the section 114 of Insurance Act. Remember that it provides solution to the customer complaints, and an ombudsman is no one but an independent authority to deal with complaint that bank customer have with the respective banks. So the complaint has to be initiated and within a month, and banking ombudsman is appointed by RBI. Now we'll look at the concept of Basel. Now there are 3 Basel: Basel 1, Basel 2 and Basel 3. So Basel is a place in Switzerland where all the governor of central bank or financial ministry form a committee called Basel Committee, which is a guideline on banking supervision. Now Basel 1, which is established in the year 1988, it has 2 main terms introduced under it. One is CAR, that is capital adequacy ratio, and CRAR, that is capital to risk weighted asset ratio. In Basel 1, 2 type of risk was introduced. One is the market risk and one is the capital risk. The market risk will be dealing with the market as a whole, and the credit risk will be dealing with the credit that a person or a bank has taken, and likewise. Basel 2, it's actually focused to the operational risk, and it was initiated by the Basel Committee on June 2008. Now the Basel 3, which was established in the year 2010 in September, it has 3 pillars. The first pillar is minimum regulatory capital requirement based on risk weighted assets. It is helping maintaining the capital calculated through credit market and the operational risk areas. The second pillar is the supervisory review process, which regulates the peripheral risk that a bank faces. And the third one is the market discipline, the increasing in the disclosure that a bank must provide to increase the transparency of the bank. So the third pillar is mainly regarding the transparency that the bank has to provide. Now important banking terms. Bank rate. Bank rate is the rate that a bank is charged by the central bank for lending funds to commercial banking. CRR, the cash reserve ratio, is the deposit in the form of cash that a bank has to keep with RBI. SLR, statutory liquidity ratio, the minimum percentage of deposit that a bank has to maintain in the form of gold or cash or other approved securities. Money market. So one of the section of financial market where securities and financial instrument with short-term maturities are traded is called the money market. Financial assets include things like treasury bill, certificates of deposit, commercial paper, and bankers acceptance. Capital market. Capital market is a market where buyers and sellers engage in trade of financial securities. Financial securities like bonds, stock, etc. The buying and selling is undertaken by the participants such as individual, and it can be an institution also. MIBOR. MIBOR is Mumbai Interbank Offered Rate, the interest rate at which bank can borrow funds is MIBOR. MIBIT is Mumbai Interbank Bit Rate, the interest rate that a bank participating in the Indian interbank market would be willing to pay to attract a deposit is known as MIBIT. NASTRO. NASTRO is a type of account maintained by an Indian in foreign countries. VASTO is just the opposite of it. It is an account which is maintained by a foreign bank in India. LAF, Liquidity Adjustment Facility. It is a monetary policy tool which allows bank to borrow money through repurchase agreements. Now the previous year question which are asked from this concept of banking. Now the first question which was asked in SBI PO exam of 2010. Some banks which are not able to meet their priority sector lending target are not allowed to do so by purchasing priority sector lending certificates or PSLC. Which of the following agency organization is or authorized to issue these certificates? So the options are microfinance institutions, non-banking corporations, NABARD. Microfinancing institutions are the institution which provide finance to entrepreneurs and small businesses, and non-banking finance companies are similar to bank, only the different thing is they don't have bank license. So the answer will be B. So the non-banking finance corporation are authorized to issue these type of certificates which are PSLC or priority sector lending certificates. Now the second question which was asked in SBI PO exam of 2011. What does the L letter denote in the term LAF as referred every now and then in relation to monetary policy of RBI? So LAF, as you know that it is the full form of LAF is Liquidity Adjustment Facility, which allows bank to borrow money. So the answer is liquidity. Now the third question. Bank and other financial institutions in India are required to maintain a certain amount of liquid asset like cash, precious metals and other short-term securities as a reserve all the time. In banking world, this is known as, so the options are CRR, fixed asset, SLR, PLR or none of these. CRR is cash reserve ratio, SLR is statutory liquidity ratio, prime lending rate or PLR, the interest rate that commercial bank charge to their most credit worthy customer, that is the customer which have a fat bank account, to say in layman's term, is known as PLR. So the answer is SLR. The life insurance had its origin is, it is asked in the United India Insurance Bank exam of PO in the year 2011, and you know that it is started in Rome, to be specific in the city of Italy. Now the same question is asked in the same exam in the same year, which is the birthplace of social insurance, and the answer is in Italy. Now the sixth question. A person who acts as an arbitrator under the section 114 of Insurance Act? No, the answer is Banking Ombudsman. Now, what does reverse repo means? It is asked in the Bank of Baroda PO exam. The option are A. Injecting liquidity by the central bank of a country through purchase of government securities. B. Absorption of liquidity from the market by the sale of government securities. C. Balancing liquidity with a view of enhancing economic growth. D. Improving the position of availability of securities in the market. Or is it E, all the above? So the answer is reverse repo is injecting liquidity by the central bank of a country through purchase of government securities. See, in my lecture I try to tell everything slowly so that it enters your mind and you will be able to answer the questions correctly during exam. So when you are watching it in YouTube, you can always increase the speed so that you can grasp the concept again and again, and it takes less time. So we'll move on to the 8th question. The stance of RBI monetary policy is. This question was asked in Bank of Baroda PO exam of 2011. Now the first option is the inflation control with adequate liquidity for growth. Second, improving credit quality of the bank. Number 3, strengthening credit delivery mechanism. Number 4, supporting investment demand in the economy. Or the 5th, all of the above. So if you see the function of RBI, it has all the 4 functions. Now the 9th question, the branding line, or as I have told you, the tagline of the Bank of Baroda. This is asked in Bank of Baroda exam of PO 2011. So if you remember the para, Andhra's need making Baroda International Bank. So the international thing, the option number 1, the tagline of Bank of Baroda is India's International Bank. Now the 10th question, many times we hear about the banking ombudsman. What are the major roles of a banking ombudsman? So if you read it, the option is A. Banking ombudsman is a quasi-judicial authority having the power to summon the bank and the customer both in case of dispute. B. The banking ombudsman are appointed by the President of India and are retired judges of High Court or Supreme Court. C. The judgment given by the banking ombudsman can be taken to any court of justice. So the option which is correct here is banking ombudsman is a quasi-judicial authority which can summon both the bank and the customer. Now the next question, with the same topic, that is banking ombudsman, it is appointed by the RBI. So this question is repeated in 2 exams. One is in SBI PO exam of 2013, and again it was recently asked in IBPS main exam of 2015. Now the 12th question, which of the following organization is made specifically responsible for empowering micro, small and medium enterprises in India? Is it NABARD, RBI, SIDBI, ECGC or SEBI? So the answer is SIDBI. Now the 13th question, State Bank of India was previously known as. So the answer is Imperial Bank. If you remember, in 1955 Imperial Bank was partially nationalized and became SBI. So this question was asked in SSC CGL exam tier 1. And so not only in banking exam, banking concept can be asked in other type of exams also. Now the 14th question, SIDBI stands for. So SIDBI stands for Small Industries Development Bank of India. This is also asked in SSC CGL exam of 2050 tier 1. Now another question from SSC CGL 2015 Tier 1 exam. RBI was nationalized in the year. So if you remember the concept from RBI, it was established in the year 1935. The headquarters is in Mumbai, but the nationalization took place in the year 1949. Now NABARD stands for, so NABARD is the refinancing bank to agriculture and small scale industries, which is established in the year 1982, having the headquarters is in Mumbai. So the full form of NABARD is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Now the next question. One family, one bank is the tagline of which bank? It is asked in the IBPS clerk exam. So if you remember the tagline paragraph that I have told you, so the family was the keyword here. So the Bank of Maharashtra is that having the tagline one family, one bank. So now the 18th question, the bank should comply and initiate the compliance of award to ombudsman within 1 month. So the initiation and compliance should be done by the bank to award the compliance to the banking ombudsman has to be within a month's period from the complaint. Basel committee, the Basel committee is related to the banking industry. This question is asked in IBPS PO main exam of 2015. Headquarter of Indian Bank. So if you remember, everything which has Indian, the word Indian specifically, is having the headquarter is in Chennai. Now the 21st question, who is the top official of Bank of Bureau Board, which is recently started. Now the RBI governor is the top official who heads the Bank Bureau Board. Which bank has the headquarter at Manipal? So it's a syndicate bank has the headquarter in Manipal, Karnataka. Bank borrow money from the RBI on which of the following rates? So the rate at which banks borrow from RBI is SLR. The largest insurance company in India is LIC. And the last question is, what does CAR? CAR stands for? So CAR is nothing but capital adequacy ratio. So thank you guys. Just tune into Backbenchers classes for more. Comment below if you like or dislike the video. And if you have some suggestion or a particular topic you want a video in, just write to us in the discussion tab. So work smart, not hard.